The ESPN Daily. Good morning! I just think it's funny that when Joey Chestnut unceremoniously shovels 75 hot dogs in his mouth, he gets lauded as the GOAT. Yet when I put 3 dogs on my plate, I catch side-eye. Double standards, am I right? Here's your ESPN Daily. Who won the weekend? Roethlisberger Puppies, Party of 7. I know it probably feels like I'm being biased against Joey Chestnut by giving the title of Who Won the Weekend to anyone else, but in reality, I think puppies trump profound eating prowess. No, I'm so sick of puppies. In fairness, I think puppies trump just about everything, but I digress. That's because you don't actually have puppies, bitch. Over the weekend, Ben Roethlisberger shared pictures of 7 new furry additions to his family. Meanwhile, another Super Bowl-winning QB by the name of Tom Brady was celebrating family, of the 2-legged variety, with a throwback photo to honor his mom's birthday. Oh, and Jaguars offensive lineman Jawan Taylor caught a 400-pound grouper. Catching a fish that weighs more than you qualifies as a win in my book. From Paul Pogba something to Dwayne Wade to Juju Smith-Schuster, here's who else did it big over the holiday weekend. Things to care about. How NFL offensive linemen escaped the 5,000-calorie lunch lifestyle. If it seems like we have been spending a lot of time talking about offensive linemen recently, it's because we have. Although I would be glad to regale you with my impassioned stance about how the O-line are the unsung heroes of football who don't get nearly enough love. Unless they're part of the Dallas Cowboys O-line. Instead, I will let Emily Kaplan, who interviewed 9 retired offensive linemen about the lengths they went to in bulking up and their secrets to slimming down after hanging up their cleats, preface her eye-opening findings with her own words. According to Elias Sports Bureau, the average weight of starting offensive linemen in the NFL was 254.3 pounds in 1970. It jumped to 276.9 by 1990, then 309.4 pounds by 2000. Today the number stands at 315, more than 60 pounds heavier than 50 years ago. Juxtapose that with another trend we've seen, the incredibly shrinking offensive lineman post-retirement. Joe Thomas was just the latest example of a guy who shed so much weight in his first year out of the league that he looked unrecognizable. The former Browns tackle says 60 pounds melted off from his 325-pound playing weight within 6 months of his last snap. It was so dramatic, even TMZ picked up Thomas's transformation, headlining an article, "Ex-NFL Fat Guy Looks Like a Chiseled Greek God." I just had a great laugh, Thomas says. Isn't that the typical lineman life? 11 years in the NFL and all I'm known as now is ex-NFL Fat Guy. In this article, we wanted to look at all of the factors that go into this phenomenon and the potential long-term health risks associated with it. I learned that for many guys, bulking up to modern offensive lineman playing size is unnatural to begin with. They're overstuffing their faces just to get that big. Just wait until you hear what these guys ate in a typical day. Then they face new challenges when they retire and recommit to a normalized, healthier lifestyle. As Thomas says, you're training yourself to have an eating disorder the way you view food when you're in the NFL, and to try to deprogram that is a real challenge. I was surprised by how many guys were willing to not only talk for this piece, but also speak so candidly. We get into everything, from insecurities about appearance and self-worth, to the struggles shopping for clothing, to the fact that these guys are just plain gassy and bloated for most of their football careers. It's a fun story filled with colorful quotes, outrageous diet details, and some honest self-reflection. I hope you'll check it out. Emily Kaplan. I don't get why they have to be that big. Personally, I don't like the look of an O-line that's got, saggy guts. Continuing. Can Cam Newton handle the Patriot way? Patriot way. Cam Newton and Bill Belichick. From a competitive standpoint, it's a natural fit. From Patriot way standpoint, that remains to be seen. There's always the chance that Newton chafes at Belichick's humorless managerial style, like so many outspoken personalities before him. But there's nothing in Cam's professional history that indicates that he can't play through a few caustic mumbles and disappointed dad glares. Dad glares. Suggesting that Cam can't adapt to Belichick is a lazy narrative, says George Whitfield, a private quarterback coach who has worked with the former MVP. Cam recognizes this as a singular opportunity. I can't imagine Belichick telling him, you have goals, and you have a chip on your shoulder. We have goals, and our shoulders look the same as you, just not as big. Look the same as yours. In reality, the Patriot way can be explained by 6 Super Bowl rings in 4 words. Win at all costs. In my humble opinion, that feels like a mentality Newton can get behind. Well, yeah. I mean, he did take an incentive-heavy contract just to be with the Patriots so that he could continue playing because nobody else was giving him a job. He probably is in that mindset where he's not gonna balk at of some challenges to his vanity. Listen up. The Chess Grandmaster's Extreme Workout. Chess Grandmasters need incredible amounts of brain power and extreme physical endurance to take on their rivals. Major tournaments can run 6 hours a day, 10 to 12 days in a row. Players might burn up to 6,000 calories and lose 2 pounds per day during these grueling matches. Today's chess world champions might train with 2 hours per day of running, swimming, or tennis, plus a strict diet. In a re-air of one of our most popular ESPN Daily Podcast episodes, ESPN Aishwarya Kumar joins host Mina Kimes to break down how top chess players meld mind and body. Cool. Things to watch. Oh, here we go. Schefter. Change is coming to Washington. Supposedly. Adam Schefter joined SportsCenter to explain why he fully expects the Washington Redskins to have a new team name before the 2020 season begins. Schefter cited the organization's statement that the team is going to have a thorough review of the name in explaining his belief that the rebrand is imminent, saying, "You don't make that announcement unless you intend to make a change." Now the question that remains is, what will the new name be? I'm a big fan of alliteration, just throwing it out there. Okay. Anyway, the reason that they were forced to at least make this statement because not only are their sponsors insisting that they change their name, but officials like I think the mayor and some other city officials from Washington, D.C. are telling them that they can't play in Washington, D.C. if they don't change their name. If the name gets changed, it's not going to be because they conceded that, oh yeah, we were wrong. We should not have had this name for our team. No, it's going to be because they were forced. Because they had no other choice. That's not going to mean anything. You'll be celebrating a hollow victory. But nobody's going to realize that. And also, one thing I was thinking last night, if they do lose their backbone and allow themselves to be strong-armed into changing their name, which, I mean, in fairness to them, it looks like they won't have any other choice, but, I mean, I'm just saying they will have lost their worthiness to call themselves Redskins anyway. This is just a stupid situation for them. Overheard. Actually, I think our chances are higher to win the 2020 title just because we're all rested and we're all ready to go. Anthony Davis on the Lakers' championship chances. Okay. I guess that's a little... On one hand, that's refreshing because it's better than the quotes that are about, "Ooh, this is the hardest championship ever because of COVID-19 or blah, blah, blah." That's refreshing in, juxtaposed against that. But on the other hand, I do not like any attempts to make this whole lockdown, quarantine bullshit look any better than it is. Because it's just plain bullshit. Remember when? Put some respect on her name. On this date in 1957, Althea Gibson made history by defeating Darlene Hard to become the first African-American woman to win Wimbledon. Good for her. So that's like a... Do they win a silver platter at Wimbledon? I don't know things about Wimbledon. Do they still win that at Wimbledon? That's pretty. I want one. Until next time, remember... Do you remember on June 11th when I said June 11th was a big day for prestigious birthdays? No? Well, I did. As it turns out, July 6th is also one of those days. Zion Williamson, Paul Gasol, Manny Machado, Sylvester Stallone, and 50 Cent are all celebrating birthdays today. Great crew. This has been your ESPN Daily from Monday, July 6th, 2020. And that's all for ESPN.